shows we do together.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison.
I'm going to say daily 52 weeks a year. I'm going to say you do about 230.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
And then what happens?
No, the Tausch kind of bows out.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The Monday edition, the How Was Your 4th of July edition, has Tausch caught World Cup fever edition. I gotta be honest, I sat and watched the entirety of England versus Mexico from Stadium Azteca, and I don't want to be
Mexico this weekend.
No, I watched it from my living room. But I
from Azteca.
The game was from there. I think it's maybe possible that you could get into this if you gave it a chance. I really do. Edition. And most importantly, the Shawn Eichorst scheduled to appear edition, the new Wisconsin athletic director, scheduled to join us at 9:30 edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the ESPN Wisconsin app, which is A, free, B, customizable, and C, can be found both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is taking some much-deserved, and it feels like it's been a while since I've said this, days off. So in his stead is our cousin sub of the day, cousin subs, we believe in better. It is Ryan Rye Guy Wooly Wollersheim.
Oh,
welcome
thanks,
back,
Jace.
buddy.
How's it going? How are you?
Are you? Whose jersey are you wearing there? Does it say Wollersheim on the back?
It does not. It does start with a W, though. It is Timothy Weah's jersey from the U.S. men's national team, repping the jersey tonight as the U.S. men's national team taking on Belgium in the round of 16 to make the quarterfinal for the first time since 2002.
And has your red card also been rescinded?
Mine has. Jesse's hasn't, which is why he's not here today. FIFA did not come down and say that he can come back from up north early. But yes, Ashton Rotman did rescind mine, so that's why I'm producing for you guys today.
And from his undisclosed location, Mr. Soccer himself, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I did not go to Mexico to watch the game.
No, neither did I. It was, again, you are a big event guy. I am not trying to convert you. I am just going to admit my own surprise at how invested I became in two countries that I have no citizenship for, no rooting interest in. The atmosphere was ridiculous. They were on like a 40-minute penalty kill because they had a red card. The English did, and they had a 3-2 lead that they were trying to protect. Wooly, tell me, you're a soccer guy. Us normal people that aren't completely invested in it, are you noticing your friends are more and more into this than even you expected them to be as casual soccer fans, or am I the outlier?
So I will definitely push back on the idea that I'm a soccer guy.
You're wearing a jersey.
I am wearing a jersey because I was an intense casual fan in the last World Cup cycle when the U.S. was actually good for the first time ever. So I got invested then. Since then, I've been I have not paid a ton of attention to the team or international soccer at all. I pay attention to the U.S. and that's about it. So I bought this jersey because I wanted to be part of it at the moment, and then I've had it for the last 4 years.
This is not helping my argument.
Look, but I agree with you, Jason. I actually cared about watching the England-Mexico game last night in a way that I was not expecting, and especially because over the weekend there just happened to be 3 or 4 fantastic games too that are all really interesting. Even earlier in the day on Sunday, watching Erling Haaland win
Yep.
with Norway over Brazil was electrifying. Like, that dude is insane. So, yeah, it's fun to, like, get on the action. And honestly, I think it being in the U.S. and, I mean, hosted in North America, but primarily the U.S., I think that has a big aspect to it.
Well, we will see what the U.S. team does tonight, and if they win, then Tausch will get on board during the round of 8. Tausch, what did you do for your 4th of July?
I did not watch the soccer. I did see this Mexico-England deal. Why did they not put a sub in? Why did they play 10-on-9 for a whole half? Like, I don't understand. You have 15 guys on your team. They're just sitting there, and you're playing. It's not like a 2-minute penalty kill. You got to kill the whole game.
Yeah, if you get a red card, you're done.
Dumb.
So you're playing a man down the rest of the time.
Good deal. Yeah, that's dumb. So in the NBA now, we should go 5-on-4 for a half. I mean, in hockey, you can sit out you can have a 10-minute major,
right?
And that's sort of like this. But I don't understand. You literally got all these other dudes that would be excited to get out and play. This person that got penalized, he's out for the game. I get that. But then you're going to say for the whole team, all right, you have now 45 minutes to kill the rest of the game?
Yeah.
That math doesn't equate to me. I don't understand.
All your criticisms that you have, I do agree with. I don't understand why we have to do the arbitrary, which they claim is not arbitrary. 11 minutes of stoppage time. Just stop the clock and then start it again when play resumes. I don't get that.
Yeah, and this is the deal. Listen, man, I get it. They shouldn't try to appease me. I'm not their fan.
No,
I understand that. But this common sense just tells me this. None of this makes any sense. But this is the greatest game on earth, is what everybody keeps telling me. And I am going to watch tonight. I decided to jump on the bandwagon a segment earlier.
Nice.
Just because this has become such a. First off, it's the middle of July. There isn't a ton of other sports going on. If there was anything else, I'd watch it. There's not. They have wisely, Fox and FIFA have wisely just owned this part of the calendar. It's a smart move. And the whole concept of corruption and everything else, if I ever hear FIFA and the IOC should be the last two organized bodies to ever talk to me or any of our fans about corruption of any sort. Thank you. I don't want to hear it. This whole deal with the red card getting overturned, and I don't even know what's the name of the guy that they're letting play tonight that's really good for the U.S.
Rye guy, go ahead. You pronounce it better than I do.
Jason, what's the guy's name? I don't know what his name is. What is his name?
Balogun?
I know you're a big...
Balogun, yep. Folarin Balogun.
Balogun, sure. This whole deal, and they have people calling it like... Yeah, okay, guys. This kind of shows you where it's at, and so the whole concept of this is just ludicrous to me, but it is good competition. It is entertaining, and with the new motto of just entertain me, I'm just going to get entertained, and I'm going to still complain about the things I think are dumb, knowing nobody cares, but I still feel that way, and that's why soccer will never jump in my world rankings for myself, but that doesn't mean it can't be entertaining and fun. And the fact that we're in the Sweet 16 can make the Elite 8 if we end up winning is awesome. And the fact that we had presidents call and get things changed tells you FIFA. It tells you everything you need to know about FIFA. FIFA and the IOC. It's not. It tells you everything you need to know, I guess, is the nicest way I could put it.
Again, you and I don't disagree on some of the rules that they have that I don't understand. Another one is if you get subbed out, you are done for the day. Like, that's it.
Well, baseball does that.
Yeah, but football doesn't. Basketball doesn't. And in soccer at the lower levels, they don't do it that way either, thankfully. Otherwise,
I'm all right with that move.
You're good with that
one. Yeah. You sub out, you're done. Yeah, I get that. It's a long game. There's not a ton of stoppages. Now that they get hydrated, they can. But I still there's just a lot of things I fundamentally disagree with, and that's probably why I'm not a soccer fan. And I feel like I'm definitely in the minority on it, and I'm all right with that. Like, I'm more than all right with it.
I don't think you're in the minority. I think it's probably people have jumped on now, and then they will lose interest again. I don't know, maybe they'll watch more MLS games after this or more Premier League games than they have previously, but I am dubious on that. All right, so instead of soccer, did you see any of the Brewers series with the Diamondbacks? And you said, as astutely as you often do about the Brewers, you really need the left side of the infield, which they made changes there, and then you talked about their need for Woody to continue to be Woody, and unfortunately now he's got the arm issue once again where his velocity dropped. He's on the IL, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. The Brewers open a series at St. Louis tonight, a 4-game set with the Cardinals, followed by a trip to Pittsburgh to face the Pirates and not our buddy Mike McCarthy. Are you concerned now about that? Do they have your attention, or are you wake me in Septembering?
No, the Brewers have my attention, and I think the Woody/Wooly. We kind of Jesse and I were at that game. I think it was a Wednesday day game when he lost velocity, and it wasn't as if there was anything major, like a elbow or a shoulder. It's just he was losing his, I don't know if it's dead arm. I don't think the Brewers know exactly what it is. And you've been able to steal a few starts. You feel terrible for Woody because he obviously has been a great ambassador to this team. He's been a great performer for a long time. And this is another special year that this group can have. And now I don't know if they're going to put him on the 60-day. I don't know what exactly their plans are, but you just hope he was able to regain his stuff with a long layoff. I think that's the best case scenario you can hope for now as a Brewers fan, is that he can maybe get back by, I don't know, early September, maybe for a playoff push. But I don't know how much. I saw that. I sent that clip over to you and Wooly from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. Gabe is all in watching every minute of this stuff. And now I don't. Oh, I thought that was a clip of me talking about Gabe's clip. Gabe basically said that you can't count on Woody. You're not going to be able to bank. Was he going to be one of your 3 starters in the post? And it would be awesome if you can, but I think obviously what happened, I believe Saturday night is when that happened, right? Wooly, is that when he went out?
Saturday night about 9:30 Central Time in the 3rd inning.
And when that happens again, you really have to. It's not the same thing because I don't want to diminish Woody's career, but it's the same thing when you're talking to the Packers. Like, you're going to count on Marshawn Lloyd? Well, it'd be great if you can, but you're crazy if you do. You hope that, oh my God, they show up and they can perform. But at this point now, with the second time that the arm went pretty much kaputs, you have to adjust. And I do think that probably maybe changes some of the math that Matt Arnold's going to have to look at when he's thinking about trading. So the Brewers still found a way to get a couple wins, but obviously this was a big loss in the fact that someone that I think everybody universally respects is unable to probably get back out there, at least for an extended period of time.
I'm sorry, Wooly, were you trying to tell us that you had that clip from Gabe so we can all hear it? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I was so excited to tell you guys about it. I wanted Tausch to tell us about it.
That
That's why
good.
I started playing his voice. Yes, I do have
You're the opposite, Wooly. You're the oppo of Jesse, where it usually takes 2 segments to get it. You actually are firing it off before I even bring it up.
That's just how good I am, guys.
It's not a bad thing.
What can I say? Producer of the future, they call me.
Must be the jersey.
Yeah, pop.
Clearly. All right, you guys ready for this clip?
Yes.
No, he's given everything. It just stinks. It's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate. You cannot count on him for the rest of the season. Maybe he gives you something. Maybe you can transition him to the bullpen, and that ends up being better for him, and he can become, and still contribute that way. I don't know. I just don't know what you do. And, yeah, I would imagine, Jen, that the Brewers aren't shocked by this because how long have they been dealing with this now?
Was Chewy yawning in the back?
Yeah. I like that. He's at the dentist's office.
Getting x-rays. I don't know what you're supposed to do with a guy that has been very good for them when he's been available and has a track record of being a very good pitcher, but like Gabe is pointing out, you can't count on him now. I don't know enough about dead arm and how long it takes to rejuvenate it. It's happened once now where he came back from, maybe more than once. But to your point, Tausch, we've talked about the trades, and we've talked to Jeff Passan about it, and the crawling through the window, not to sit and look at the view, but to jump out of it. I will be curious to see how this, to your point, affects their trade approach at the deadline. All right, we need to get ready to talk to the University of Wisconsin new athletic director, Shawn Eichorst. We'll talk a little bit about our game plan for that after Tausch tells you what your game plan should be when it comes to replacing your windows.
Well, it's easy. It always is Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And shopping for new windows and doors should be simple. It shouldn't include haggling over everything. Pella sticks to straightforward pricing, honest conversations, helping homeowners find the right fit for their home, and they never use high-pressure sales tactics. When you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the same team that manufactures your windows and doors, they also sell them, install them, and service them. Real pricing, premium quality, no game. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. It's an exciting time of year as we get into the heart of the summer. And while that means more time in the sun, more time spent with friends and family, and more fun at home or traveling, it also means more money being spent to do all of those things. Well, if you're looking to save some cash, why not save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar? Our family made the switch to solar and we love it, but at first we weren't even quite sure where to start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more. Schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
ESPN Wisconsin celebrates Wilde and Tausch's 10-year anniversary. Presented by Steinhafels.
Our very first guest, Aaron Rodgers. Give us an over-under on what number would you set for how many shows we do together?
Daily, 52 weeks a year. I'm going to say you do about 230.
Wilde and Tausch's 10th anniversary is also brought to you by Sendix, by Outdoor Living Unlimited, by Gruber Law Offices, and by Events by Design.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss here for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of the house this summer and enjoy a great weekend at Road America, located conveniently between Milwaukee and Green Bay in Elkhart Lake. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. Camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in racing your way. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond is coming to Road America July 16th through the 19th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
Life moves fast. Your car should move with it. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, they've got a vehicle and payment options that fit every stage of your journey. Just graduated? Start smart in a Chevy Trax. Stylish, efficient, and budget-friendly. Growing your family? The Equinox gives you the space and versatility you need. And when life gets even bigger, the Traverse or Tahoe is ready for it all. Kids, carpools, and road trips. Visit them today in Sun Prairie or online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Jacob Mizorowski is an all-star.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A masterpiece from the Miz!
Tune into the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Getting ready to talk to new Badgers athletic director Shawn Eichorst here on Wilde and Tausch. By the way, I understand that we are a Packers-centric show. We bring on Jeff Passan and Bill Schroeder and Dom Catronio and Levo to make us smarter about the Brewers. So I don't in any way pretend to be an expert at all on them, but I am amazed at how different the coverage is of baseball now. I am reading the story about Brandon Woodruff's shoulder issue on Brewers.com. And first of all, I didn't realize, and someone pointed out in the YouTube comments as well, they think they know what this is. A cyst gets full of liquid in his shoulder. It is a holdover from previous shoulder surgery, so if they drain it, he regains some measure of velocity again. It just takes time to heal. But the stats that they use in here, I am fascinated by. They have his speed on his four-seamer, which is 88 miles per hour, like Back to the Future, which is 4 miles an hour below his yearly average, but that's where he's at when he's feeling good. And then they talk about some of their other pitchers in this story. Tausch, you're a baseball guy. Robert Gasser has particularly excelled at limiting loud contact, posting a 94th percentile hard hit rate. I'm sorry, is that on the back of baseball cards? Because I have not. These are things that I am not familiar with.
Yeah, I am also not, but that is the new age, and it's not even that new. I think this has been around for a while. The new rules, you don't pitch a third time through. There's all they got. I mean, I think it was the Marlins. Somebody had a perfect game.
Yeah, Marlins.
Through 7 innings. And you just say, no? Like, I'm good, you're good? I mean, I understand if a guy's coming back from a rehab, if there's other things in play, let it rip, man. It's a new era. There must be, teams must know. There's more expertise, and there are really good things that come from all of that, but there's also some things that just make you shrug and say, this isn't my era of ball no more. And that Marlins deal the other night, all of this other stuff, this is just collecting data, so hopefully you make good decisions when you're paying people.
All right, well, that is the extent of our Brewers talk. I'm sure we will get to some Wimbledon talk a little bit later in the program with Tausch's Tennis Minute. But we do have Shawn Eichorst coming up, and I want to give a shout-out to Jalen in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments who says, how did you manage to get Eichorst on before Jonathan Gannon? Which I appreciate your loyalty to the show and that line. And the answer is, we do have the radio color analyst as a co-host of the program. Have you caught up with Shawn before he joins us and welcomed him back? Because I know you guys certainly crossed paths back in the day.
No, I wanted to keep it fresh. So this is going to be our first, as the new athletic director, this will be our first conversation. They obviously are having some other stuff. Had a little intro Zoom deal, I think, last week, and I think they're having more to do coming up later this week as well. So everybody gets a better chance to learn more about what Shawn is going to do here at Wisconsin.
Indeed, it is actually later today. I got the news release yesterday from Patrick Herb in the UW Athletic Department. So for those that are going to join us to listen to his interview with us coming up in a few minutes, he will also be introduced at the Champions Club later today at Camp Randall. There'll be a press conference as well, and our good friend, the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, will also moderate a Q&A session with him too. But first, he is scheduled to join us coming up in the next few minutes. Before we do that, I want to remind you we talked a lot of Brewers, which is not usually our MO, but when we talk about Brewers and great customer service, we're talking about Brewers checking from Associated Bank and all the great perks that come with it. 20% off at the Brewers team store when you show your Brewers card. Up to 50% off home game tickets. Express entry through the Associated Bank entrance, which allows you to tailgate a little longer and skip the line. Concert and event access, pre-sale access to designated concerts and non-baseball events at American Family Field. And, of course, you'll save money both on registering for the Brewers Baseball Academy and for the Brewers Community Foundation 5K and 10K Famous Racing Sausages Run and Walk at American Family Field. So go to AssociatedBank.com/Brewers to find out more. And while you're there, you can also find out about all the great customer service awards they have won in as well. Shawn Eichorst, the new athletic director at the University of Wisconsin, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is our crew.
The pitch, a drive to left. This is high. This is deep. It is gone. William Contreras, a 3-run blast.
This is 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Now, you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. I loved it then, and I love enjoying Pizza Hut, making new memories with my family today. Say hello to Pizza Hut's new crispy Parm Pan Pizza. It's the original pan crust you love with a crispy golden Parmesan edge baked right into the crust. Try it today. Get a medium one-topping crispy Parm Pan Pizza for just $10, or make it a large for only $3 more. Limited time offer, additional charges for extra cheese, toppings, and recipes. Order online at pizzahut.com or download the Pizza Hut app to get this and a bunch of other great deals as well. The newest Hut crust is Pizza Hut's Crispy Parm Pan. Order today at pizzahut.com, and remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Since 1956, Hallman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Hallman Lindsay has grown over the years to 27 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Hallman Lindsay has the paints you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Hallman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Dear Brewers fans, where do you find the best views and the most electrifying baseball action American Family Field has to offer? The answer is Toyota territory, located in right field. This Grand Slam experience covers all bases and gives fans in the stands an exclusive live look at our home run hitter, the Toyota 4Runner. Add Toyota to your lineup today. Now batting, Toyota.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
William Contreras is an all-star.
Pitch and a high fly ball. This ball's way back and way gone. Wild Bill, a 3-run shot.
Tune into the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Madison's Mark Tauscher here for Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, my wife and I chose Outdoor Living Unlimited to build our outdoor project. When we met with Aaron and Eric Brown, owners and brothers of Outdoor Living Unlimited, we felt like they were the right guys to work with. We share the same hardworking values, and their showroom is a must-see at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. If you're looking for a new deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and more, Outdoor Living Unlimited is a must. Start with OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com and end with an amazing outdoor space.
From green and gold to red, white, and blue.
And man, he just keeps being tremendous. Keeps just showing everybody that he's not just Antonio Freeman's son, that he is really Alex Freeman.
Find the full interview with Wilde and Tausch, available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Badgers Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst scheduled to appear momentarily. You know, Tausch, I know that I've been known to correct you once or twice. And yet, you are nice enough to correct me privately. I'm lucky to have you.
Usually. Yeah, there's times that I'll have to do it on air, but Jason, you just never make any mistakes.
Yeah, good dude.
Well, I made one I made one moments ago. The introductory news conference and everything else is tomorrow. That's not today. The 4th of July, especially when it's on a Saturday, I just feel like it messes me up. So today is the 6th of July.
I thought this was the perfect 4th of July, though. You get the Friday off, and then you reset, because if it would be on Sunday and you'd get the 5th off, then this whole week would be kind of thrown into whatever. And I can't wait. Jesse's break patterns doesn't make any sense to me either. He takes 2 days off to come back to work for 2 days and then drive back to take another weekend because it's too long of a break. I'm confused by all of that.
Is there a limit
here nor there?
Is there a limit to how long you want to spend? And again, I know there's some controversy as to whether Crivets constitutes up north or not. But do you only go for short spurts, or if you go up to the more traditional up north, do you go for longer periods? These are outside my area of expertise.
Yeah, I always look at it usually as like it's 3 days is about where I like being. And after that, you start getting a little antsy. If it's, if you go up north and you're boating and fishing, that's all great. But after about 3 days, you kind of start thinking, it's probably time to get moving.
We look forward to Jesse returning. We are lucky to have a variety of more than accomplished producers to fill in for him. I know one of them, Wooly, is working feverishly to get the video component of Shawn Eichorst joining us to function properly. We have had this issue a few times over the years. Video is just not we're not particularly telegenic, and we occasionally struggle with the technology of it. So we will continue to effort on that. Tausch, I am curious, and again, the introduction of Shawn Eichorst is tomorrow, not today, but he is joining us today momentarily, hopefully. I am curious. One of the things that we talked about as this news started to leak out is how different football and college athletics as a whole are today versus when Shawn was at UW the first time and when he was at Miami and at Nebraska. Do you get any sense at all, you were mentioning FIFA and the IOC, do you get any sense at all that there is more normalcy starting to come down the road for college athletics? Or do you still have the same apprehensions that you've had the whole time?
No, and that is one of the things I'll be curious to hear from Shawn about, and it sounds as if Shawn is ready. So instead of me bloviating about where my head is at, we could go, there he is.
Hey, boys.
So, Shawn,
how are we doing today?
We're great. Hey, is Crivets, you're a Wisconsin guy, is Crivets up north or not?
Yes. Did I get it right?
It is. Shawn, don't you think Highway 29?
So
come on,
Highway
guys,
29 is the line of demarcation, right? Or do you go do you go up further?
Hey, I go anywhere. Up, down, left, right. I'll go anywhere in this state. I love this state. You guys know that. Hey, Tausch, Jason, great to be with you guys this morning. I'm fired up to be back home.
We're fired up to have you. And we're fired up that Wooly got the video connection to work, so we appreciate him doing that. Let's start with the obvious question, though, and then we'll get to more fun. I was just asking Tausch this, and he unexpectedly used the word bloviate, which I wasn't quite ready for either. Let's talk about the world that we live in now and the world that you are stepping back into as the Wisconsin athletic director. You knew Tausch years ago. You were here at Wisconsin for a long time. You're a Wisconsin guy. You go to Miami. You go to Nebraska. I don't know. You might as well be Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, though, with your experience during that era, right? Everything is so different now. How are you going to attack this job, and how did your time at Texas in today's college landscape help prepare you for this now?
Well, I'm going to attack it just like I've attacked every day since I've been in college athletics, and that's with positivity and education at the heart of everything we do. And so, things have changed over the 2.5 decades that I've been involved in college athletics. It's always been about change and innovation and creativity. We're in an environment now in college athletics where there's less restrictions than ever. And there's not as much regulation as there once was. And so I think we're just trying to figure out how to operate in that ecosystem in a way that not only serves the universities, these great public and private universities, but more importantly, how the athletics department serves those universities and our young people. I'm really excited. I have been, back in 2010, 2011, when I transitioned to Miami, I was really all about trying to find ways to get more benefits to our student athletes. I always felt like we were too restrictive in those areas. And, at times especially now, we've swung to the other end, and we're just trying to find that balance. But if we can come together and work on this together, we'll be fine. So change is inevitable. The great ones adjust. And so I feel really good about the journey that I've been on. I've learned a ton. I've grown a ton. I've been knocked on my ass a few times. But that's what athletics is all about. That's the great thing about athletics. You know how to get up and move forward and be resilient.
Shawn, when you talk
Shawn,
about
what have you learned from your time at Texas? Because I know you're going to do your press conference tomorrow, and when the announcement was kind of unofficially brought to us a couple days ago, people want to talk to you about, I'm sure going to ask you about some of your other spots, but Texas, a lot of success down at Texas, and you were, a big part of that. Was it for the fundraising? What have you taken from your time at Texas that in this new era you're going to need to bring here to Wisconsin?
Well, great place. There's so many similarities between Texas and Wisconsin if you really look at it. And then people. It was all about the people. When we got there in 2018, things weren't great. Our structure wasn't great. Our foundation wasn't great. Some of our teams weren't performing at the level that we needed to perform. They needed to perform at. And so we went to work sort of laying the bricks of that foundation very, very tightly. In almost everything we were doing focused on our head coaches and our student athletes. And so there was no magic bullet with that one. There was no silver bullet with that one other than hard work and getting the right people in the right seats. And then as we started to do that, we started to win. And as we started to win, then of course, the flywheel starts. People are more interested in tickets. People are more interested in premium. People are more interested in sponsorships. All those things that, we've experienced here at Wisconsin at times in our history. You just got to build momentum, and you got to get people rolling in the right direction. Using Coach's old analogy, we were selling some blue sky early on. And then we just were able to hire some exceptional coaches and gave them the resources they needed, and we got the heck out of the way, and we let them do their deal. So there was a lot of hard work put in over the 8 years at Texas. I'm so appreciative of them and thankful for them for the opportunity. But we're going to bring a lot of that energy and some of those plans associated with people and being focused on our head coaches and our student athletes and get our arms around that deal. And then hopefully we can also build some momentum and get that flywheel going. And I tell you what, there's as much passion in this state as what we had there. And so, when you talk about that piece of it, you can't manufacture that deal. We've got passion. We've got a connection to this place. People love this place. They want us to be successful. So we just got to do those things fundamentally that can help us move forward. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's been 15 years since I've been here. A lot of familiar faces walking in the building today. And then some new faces. And the facilities have changed. And so I'm really looking forward to immersing myself in everything we got going on here at Madison. But there are a ton of similarities between Texas and Wisconsin. And so that gives me great hope. I'm really excited about what's in front of us.
So, Shawn, you said, speaking of head coaches, have you had a chance, and we all know football, obviously Texas, doesn't matter where football drives the bus, and I know, with Barry, it's always football, 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 and he's built a lot of other great things too, but football was the engine. Have you had a chance to catch up with Luke Fickell and kind of get an idea of where we're at from a football standpoint here?
I have. I've talked to Luke a couple times since it became official, and actually I've talked to every single head coach and connected with them over the last couple of days, and I'm really excited to get over and spend some more time with Luke. We didn't really talk much about football. We talked about family and all those things that are really important as you're developing a relationship. I hadn't really had a chance to know or work with Luke up to this point, but my deal is I'm just going to immerse myself in everything they're doing over there and listen and learn. And nobody's going to be a bigger supporter than me relative to what he's got going on. And I will say that about everything in this department. There's going to be a ton of support, and there's going to be times for us to step back and reflect and evaluate and all that other sort of stuff. But at this point in time, I'm just trying to build relationships, trying to get to know people, understand how they work, how they think, and then I can help them from a support perspective. And then, I've just had the great fortune of being around a lot of good ball coaches. My high school coach was fantastic. My college coaches were fantastic at Whitewater. And then getting an opportunity to work with Holtz and Spurrier and Barry, and now it was with Steve at Texas. I feel like I relate well with coaches. I've never coached, so I never tell them that I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I just sit back and listen and try to provide support. It's a hard deal, as you know better than anyone. The margin here, especially today in this environment, is very, very thin. But we have a recipe here at Wisconsin for success, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we are relative to that recipe.
Talking with new University of Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst on Wilde and Tausch. All right, Shawn, from the jump, I obviously am familiar with your career and your time at UW, and I'm excited for your opportunity. But what I really liked hearing was that you got knocked on your ass a few times, because people love to kind of, I don't want to talk about that part of my career because that didn't go the way I wanted it to. So what did you take from your time at Nebraska that makes you a better athletic director now?
Growth, just having been through transition and being in an iconic place. I love my time there. I'm very respectful of my opportunity there. We worked our butts off. And I think by any measure over that period of time I was there, we had a ton of success when you kind of take a look at what happened before and then what's happened since. But it's just learning, it's growth. It's just like we teach our kids when they go to preschool or grade school or middle school or high school. You learn through adversity, and you learn character, integrity, and discipline. All those things we talk about in our programs, you got to look in the mirror. And so that's part of the journey. And resiliency is the key. And, growing up in a small town, Lone Rock, 45 minutes from Madison, farming town, arts town, all that kind of stuff. I've been knocked on my ass plenty of times in my lifetime, and I've always learned more from failure than I have from success. And so, but nobody's going to work harder at it than me. And being connected and build relationships, and Tausch has been around me a ton. I mean, I'm about people. I love this state. I love this program. And, those are good things to start with. And then if you like being around people, and more importantly, coaches, I think, good things can happen. But it's an obvious question. I get it. And, I think we've turned the page and moved on. And our great 8 years at Texas, I think, is more of a resemblance of where we're headed with respect to what I can bring to the table. But I get it. I own it.
Well, I try not to ask obvious questions, but some of them are unavoidable. Here's another one for you. How much influence was Barry Alvarez on you? Because and look, obviously I covered Barry as a student reporter. He still gives me grief about my earring way back in the day. Tausch obviously played for him, but there are some younger Badgers fans, and we got the blowback of it. We were like, how do you not have Barry Alvarez on the committee and everything else? How do you take his influence on you and use that as a very positive thing, but also understand that there are people that maybe don't even quite understand how much he meant to this university?
Well, tremendous, iconic, legendary, all those things. I wish I was like Tausch. I wish I could have played for him. We have a deep relationship that's more about the things that matter than football and all that other sort of stuff. What I've learned from him is how to treat people and how to make a group of people come together and do something that they don't think they could do ever as individuals. Just the way he goes about it and the way he talks about it. He pays a lot of attention to histories and traditions and all those other sorts of things. And so, when I was at South Carolina with Coach Holtz, we talked about sort of some of the people that he had been around in the coaching business. And when this opportunity came, Lou had retired and Steve had taken over. But I talked to Lou about whether Wisconsin would be a good fit. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, you could put Barry Alvarez on any street corner in America and he'd be successful. And so I think that sums it up, right there. But I also think that he gets the bigger picture and how things in the landscape have changed. And so I'm going to lean into him. And I told him this the other day. I wasn't looking for his help to get this job because he had already prepared me for this job. I didn't need Coach out there banging on the table. You got to hire this guy. I didn't need that. And I actually didn't want that. What I wanted is that when I did get the job, that he'd come here and help me and be around and talk to our coaches and be a part of how we're recruiting and all those other sorts of things. I mean, you'd be crazy not to lean into that resource. And so, and the other thing is I want to make him proud. I mean, we all do, right, Tausch? I mean, you don't want to let that guy down. And so, there's a freedom with that in some ways. Early on in my career, as I was moving along the chairs, there's more pressure and anxiety with it because you're learning it as you go. And then you have all these mentors of yours that, really want you to do well. And it's more about proving them right than proving everybody else wrong, if that makes sense.
Well, Tausch got to play for Barry. You got to play for a legend, too, in Bob Brezowitz, and you played a hell of a lot more than Tausch did in college. So I am curious, when when you look at how much your time at Wisconsin previously, you said it was 15 years ago, which is true, but did you get the sense, look, you had to crush the interview, otherwise they're not hiring you. That doesn't matter that you were here before. But the landscape being different, maybe it doesn't matter that you were here before. How do you think that factored in to you getting this opportunity?
I think the blend was really unique for me. I was able to have a sense of the DNA, the campus, the rhythm. You know, I've been a lifelong learner, so leaning into the educational part, how iconic Wisconsin is. I mean, it's one of the finest universities in the world. Everybody knows that. You know, education, research, the Wisconsin idea, all that other sort of stuff. And so, you know, having that sort of as a secondary nature for me, then kind of allowed me to be progressive as I talk to people about, you know, what I've seen over the course of the last 25 years. I mean, I've had the great fortune of being in all Power Force conferences, right? I don't know how many of my colleagues have actually been in the room at all of those conferences. And so I think today more than ever, having that sort of experience and understanding, you know, is important. But I think it allowed me to tell a story that was possibly different than anybody else that was pursuing the opportunity. And we've been very progressive at Texas, but we've also been very original to who we are, and we're going to do the same thing here. I mean, we're going to do the things that make us special, and we're going to make some adjustments to the extent that we need to make them, but we're always going to tie them back to who we are. And why wouldn't you? I mean, the strengths of this place, this is a destination place. And so, as you can imagine, there was a lot of preparation that went in to the evolution of getting this position, and I took it very, very seriously. And so, it felt very natural to me. In many ways, I was able to just be free with what I see and what I think and all those other sorts of things. But certainly, having a grounding in all the things that make Wisconsin special is helpful.
Shawn, one more for me. So I'm curious. I'm always fascinated by origin stories. And so you obviously have a successful career playing at Whitewater. You go to Marquette Law School. How do you end up going on this path? Does Whitewater need an athletic director and they say, hey, that captain from a few years ago, he went to law school, we could use him? Because when you look at where you start and now where you are now, I'm fascinated how this journey has gone for you.
It goes down to just fundamentals. So Dr. Galen Greenhill, who ultimately was the chancellor who hired me at Whitewater, was a provost, and we just happened to be on the bus together to a road game for football. And so I had a great aspiration to get into the law, and he had a political science background, and we just talked, and so one thing led to another, and you know, when I heard that Wisconsin Whitewater was going to hire a new athletic director, and at that time they had separate men's and women's departments, and so Diane Jones and Willie Myers, who I knew when I was a student athlete, were stepping down, and we were going to combine these departments, and one thing led to another, and I think my background in athletics and my background in the law and some organizational behavior stuff, politics, sort of came together, and one thing led to another, and I ended up in Whitewater at 31 with no experience in college athletics, and now I was Coach Brezowitz's supervisor with Jim Miller and Dave Vandermolen and that great staff. I'll tell you what, the coaches that Whitewater had as I was going through that program and the coaches they've had since are as good as any level I've been a part of. Those guys and gals could coach at this level any day of the week. And so that's kind of how the journey started, you know, just opening yourself up when you're sitting on a bus and traveling somewhere, you know, that's how these things happen. And if, you know, if you're open to meeting people and talking to people, good things can happen. So it's been awesome. And I owe everything to Whitewater, and all the things that they're doing today, really special to me.
Shawn, last one for me as well, and I guess you have a ton of things that are going to be coming across your desk. What do you think is the biggest thing that now that you're in that chair that you're going to need to address to get Wisconsin to where you want it to be?
People. For me, it's just, and I've been saying it a bunch, but for me, it's just getting to learn what's going on, right? Listening to people, building relationships. At the end of the day, I think some of this stuff is fairly straightforward in the way you build a team. And so, Tausch, I'm going to spend a lot of time with our head coaches, and why wouldn't you? Some of them are as elite as you could find. And any company, nonprofit or church would love to have these people come in and talk to them about how you treat people, how you build teams. Then once you do that and you got trust and communication, and Tausch, the best teams you've ever been on, I bet you were managed in the locker room, right? It's an inside-out deal. And so you got to build an organization that can monitor itself and can lead itself. And the way you do that is really getting to understand people, what makes them go, getting them in the right seats, and then getting out of the way and giving them some resources and all that other sort of thing. So for me, it's just not assuming. And that's why I'm going to meet with our staff today. All of our staff, we're going to meet today at noon. And my message to them is got to serve this institution at the highest level. Athletics is at the best when it's serving the institution, right? You got to take care of our kids. It's all about our kids. And then you got to take care of our head coaches. Those are the key. That's the tip of the spear. And if we're focused on those things, then anything is possible. But I don't want to assume anything. I don't have an agenda. What I want to do is really get an understanding of everything we're doing right now. And then there's going to be time for us as a group collectively to make some decisions about an adjustment here or there. And, hopefully we'll go on and win a bunch of games this fall. That takes a lot of, you're putting wins in the left column. That can solve a lot too, right? I think Barry said it best, winning's great for the soul. Well, we need to do some soul building around here. That's what I got to say. So that's going to take some time, and it's going to take some hard work, and it's got to take everybody kind of buying into it. And so we're going to find out pretty quickly on some of that stuff. But I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to get rolling.
All right, Shawn, I lied as I normally do in interviews. I have one more for you because I can't let you go, because everything you said I agree with. It's about this great institution that Tausch and I both graduated from. It's about people, players, coaches, students, everybody. Unfortunately, the reality of college athletics today is also it's about money. And that is the biggest challenge. How do you fit that part into all the other stuff that I love to talk about? And it's why I love college sports more than I love covering the NFL for 30 years and everything I've done, because that's, for me, college sports is different that way. And yet now it's not quite as different as it used to be. So how does the money component fit into the paradigm you just talked about with all the other important stuff?
Well, resources have always been important, right? Everybody's striving to have the resources they need to be successful. I think for me, the way I've looked at the economics of it is you just got to make appropriate investments. And I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of money and not do a lot of winning, right? We've seen that. You're not going to money whip this deal, in my opinion. Now, we're going to do the things that we need to do to build that foundation so that we can start to scale as we have success. But that's going to take some time. But when your teams are doing well and your fan base is really feeling good, you got pride and passion, we got that big time in spades, right? Then you can start to stretch your legs in tickets. You can start to stretch your legs in premium. You can start to stretch your legs in, in sponsorships. And all those verticals we're all talking about, right? Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it, right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment. And so my deal is to get my feet on the ground and talk to as many people. I've talked to probably our top 25 donors. I've talked to a lot of student athletes. I've talked to our head coaches, and I'm thanking them for all the things they've done for us. But most often what they're telling me is what can I do to help? And so what I would say is just your pride and your passion. Just bring positivity, bring optimism, right? Give these young people a chance, and they feel it. You know, the social media and the environment we are today. You know, Jason, it's the difference between us and professional sports is education. You know, we talked about this amateurism stuff forever. That's not a thing anymore, right? The distinguishing factor for us today is education. And that is the most valuable resource that our society has. Young people in education, research, all those other sorts of things. So those wonderful pro franchises with their owners and all that money that they're spending, that's a different deal. And so we've got to do a better job distinguishing what it is that we do and why we do it. And then I think the rest will take care of itself. But I get it. Resources are really important, especially in an unregulated environment. Okay? We've got to get this thing regulated in a way that makes sense for everybody so we can maintain the integrity of all the sports, because we want to be good in everything. We understand that football is the one pulling the train, right? So we'll focus on all of that. But I will say this. I've seen a lot of places do a really good job making investments in their support areas and in their sports, and they're not at the top of the heap in the amount of revenue that's being generated, if that makes sense. I think the other thing folks need to think about is the scale of our enterprises, right? You see a lot of different numbers from an economics perspective. Well, a lot of that's driven if you got a 100,000 seat stadium, right? You know, you got a 50,000, a 60,000, a 70, and 80. You know, those things all scale themselves. So what I would say to people as you dig into the economics, you got to understand what scale you're on, right? We're at a really good spot, but there are some schools we're going to compete against that they just have bigger stadiums, and they have a bigger platform in some ways to generate revenue. That doesn't make them any better than us. We're just going to have to be better with the resources we have and the investments we make, and that's Wisconsin. That's what we do best. Right? We work hard, we trust one another, we unite with one another, and we're a very resilient group of people, right? We've all been knocked on our ass, all right? But we get up and we're stronger than ever in those situations. So that was a long-winded response to your question about revenue, but that, to me, that's a buzz. Those are buzz terms. That'll take care of itself when we get this thing tight and rolling.
The pride of Lone Rock, Wisconsin, the pride of Auburndale, Wisconsin, and some guy from Milwaukee. What a joy it's been to have you, Shawn. We're really excited for you and Kristen and the boys, and we're really excited. We'll book you, every other week, you think, to talk with Tausch on the show? You think that works for your schedule? I know you got a lot on your plate, but...
I thought we'd do this weekly. What are we talking about? I'll probably get in trouble for saying that. You guys will get after my ass, but hey, I'm here. I'm open for business, man. You can't go. There's no hiding, right? I mean, here we are.
No, there isn't. We're excited for you, and we appreciate all your time today, Shawn. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Take care. See you soon.
That is new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst. I think if you're a Badgers fan, you should walk away from that conversation feeling pretty good. We'll talk more about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
From green and gold to red, white, and blue.
And man, he just keeps being tremendous, keeps just showing everybody that he's not just Antonio Freeman's son, that he is really Alex Freeman.
Find the full interview with Wilde and Tausch available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. The AD has spoken. In an online press conference with select media, new Badgers AD Shawn Eichorst spoke about his tumultuous time at Nebraska and how he learned from it. Audio courtesy of Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
My experience in Nebraska, what I take away is growth. We all learn, especially times of adversity, resilience, all those things we talk to our young people about. I'm looking in the mirror. And so I look at it as a positive.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't play games. Just straightforward pricing, premium quality, and trusted Pella certified installation. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Mike, what's one of the most important questions people should be asking about metal roofing?
It should be who's doing the installation. It takes focus, precision, and technical experience. We'll answer all your questions.
After all, we are masters of metal roofing.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Sweda. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Sweda metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Sweda Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Brian Butch here. From high school All-American to Division I to the pros, I've spent a lifetime putting in the work. And this 4th of July, Iron Jock is celebrating with one of our biggest deals of the summer. From June 25th through July 6th, get 40% off all Iron Jock gear with a minimum purchase of $50 using code ESPN40. Excludes clearance and gift cards. Whether you're training, traveling, grilling out, or just staying active this summer, Iron Jock gear is built to keep up. Our products are moisture-wicking, anti-static, built for performance, built to last, built in Wisconsin. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Brewers baseball is back, and there's only one way to celebrate, with a Surfside iced tea and vodka, or a Surfside lemonade and vodka. Smooth, refreshing, and made for game day. Surfside is the perfect match for a day at the ballpark, or catching the game at home. Surfside is only 100 calories, with 0 bubbles, so it goes down easy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well. Earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year Award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 608-220-0005 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
About right. Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it. Right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment.
That is new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst here on Wilde and Tausch. If you missed any of that interview, you'll be able to find it. You can either rewind on our YouTube channels, or you'll be able to find it a little bit later on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts. Look, I am one of those provincial Wisconsin people who I really like it when it's one of our guys. And I want to believe in our guys. Now, Chris McIntosh was also one of our guys. And Barry Alvarez was not a Wisconsin guy. He was a Nebraska guy, an Iowa guy, a Notre Dame guy, and then he became a Wisconsin guy. But the things that I think most of my Badger alumni friends and Badger fan friends want to hear, and he says it there, talk is cheap. Like, it's great. He can say whatever he needs to say to us. but he's got to do it. And it starts with football. I wasn't going to get into on my platform, on my soapbox about the importance of non-revenue sports. We'll save that for when he joins us every week. But the reality is, Tausch, that I think he is aware of where this athletic department is and where the football program is, and he knows he's got some work to do, and talking only goes so far. And if I was a Badgers fan, the talk I did hear, I would be encouraged by. Fair?
Yeah, I definitely think listening to what he had to say, the getting up off your keister when you get knocked down, you understood that the Nebraska component to his career was going to get discussed, and I'm sure tomorrow it'll get discussed in more detail. But the bottom line on this is he continued to come back to people because that is what makes organizations special. Great leadership and letting people do what they do best and making sure you have the right people in the right places, because generating revenue is, it's going to be a lot easier to do down in Texas than it is here. There's a lot of reasons for that, and he's mentioned scale and the fact that the stadium size, and nobody cares, though. Like, that's the bottom line on this, is it's going to come down to putting together good teams, using the resources that you have in a really smart way, because not everybody can be the Los Angeles Dodgers. I said this last week, and I don't think by any stretch we're going to be in the Milwaukee Brewers situation where you're so far behind some of these other places, but we are not going to probably be able to compete on the revenue standpoint with the Ohio States and the Michigans. We can be closer to that than where I think the Brewers are with the Dodgers, but is it going to come down to, do we have the right coaches in place? Milwaukee, we obviously do. When you're looking at developing talent, that farm system, how you do that. Now, it's different, and this is where I think Shawn brought up some interesting points on getting this thing to be uniform so that everybody can at least understand the rules. Legislatively, that is probably out of his hands. But if you're a Badger fan and you believe that Barry Alvarez's model and how he approached things worked, you're going to listen to that interview and be very excited, because it feels like Shawn Eichorst has obviously learned a lot from Barry Alvarez in hiring good people and letting them do their jobs. Shawn, I think, is evaluating, going to look at his entire department and making sure he has all those right people that can go out and do the job that is needed, because the task is very large that's at hand.
I want to delve a little bit more into the Barry Alvarez part of that, and I think Barry's going to join us a little bit later this week, because one of the things he said that you just mentioned resonated with me, because it's not just Barry Alvarez who would always say hire the right people and get out of their way. Someone who is also very dear to me, Bob Harlan, used to take that approach too, and that seemed to work pretty well at 1265 Lombardi Avenue. We'll get more into that when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which we will do in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Madison's Mark Tauscher here for Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, my wife and I chose Outdoor Living Unlimited to build our outdoor project. When we met with Aaron and Eric Brown, owners and brothers of Outdoor Living Unlimited, we felt like they were the right guys to work with. We share the same hardworking values, and their showroom is a must-see at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. If you're looking for a new deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and more, Outdoor Living Unlimited is a must. Start with OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com and end with an amazing outdoor space.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. New Wisconsin Badgers Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst joined Wilde and Tausch right here on ESPN Madison just about 30 minutes ago. That interview wrapped up less than 10 minutes ago. But with massive concerns about the future of Wisconsin's fundraising and NIL efforts in the modern era of college sports, Eichorst says that ultimately, talk is cheap.
Right? Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it, right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment.
Listen back to that full appearance on the ESPN Wisconsin app as well as on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Over the weekend, the Milwaukee Brewers took 2 or 3 games from the Diamondbacks in the desert, but they lost pitcher Brandon Woodruff in the process. Woody's gone back on the IL after he once again experienced dead arm issues on the mound during Saturday's start. Read more about Woody's injury and what it means for the Brewers over at ESPN.com. Second hour of Wilde and Tausch starts
Metro
right now.
Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Time now for headlines as we predict what will happen on Sunday as the Packers take on the Vikings at Lambeau Field.
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I'm going to do something crazy.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison.
I'm going to say kissing cousins, Pack Vikes tie.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
He missed it again! And will end this crazy game in a tie. Oh my goodness.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And I am curious what folks thought of our conversation. I have a specific question for Tausch that I want to ask here. But I would love your reaction on the Carbless Talk and Text line. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Lists is more. I personally felt that he checked every box of the things he should be saying, but as he himself said, talk is cheap. So I'm curious what Badgers fans and alumni who listen to that thought. Tausch, I have to ask this, though, because, and look, we call out our biases here, and I am biased in favor of Barry Alvarez. His first year as the head coach of the football team was my freshman year, so yes, I'm old. But the tried and true Wisconsin way, when you think about what Wisconsin was for most of my childhood growing up and what challenges it faced then, and then Pat Richter and Donna Shalala and Barry Alvarez turned those fortunes around, and by the time I was a senior, I was covering a Rose Bowl, which I never thought was possible. I can tell you that there are younger Badger fans and alumni who do not want to hear that he wants to encourage Barry Alvarez's input and wants to make him, as someone who mentored him and means a lot to him, that he would go to him for help. So how do we manage that group? And I don't want to say manage, like tell them what to think, but how do we kind of both mix the forward-thinking, this is a new world, with the value that Barry Alvarez has as an iconic person who held both the head coach job and the athletic director job, and also his hand-picked successor did not fare particularly well as his successor. How do we view that?
What I would say is, if you think that Barry Alvarez is going to be, a day-to-day operation and everything else, you're crazy. That's not
right.
That's not where he's at. This is Shawn Eichorst athletic department, and what I would say is, I don't care if it's Warren Buffett. Doesn't matter what business you're in. These folks still want to have sounding boards and ideas that maybe they use, maybe they don't, but Evan Cohen said this a few weeks ago. This athletic department has been at its best when Barry Alvarez has been involved to varying degrees. So do I think, hey, Barry, how are we going to generate more revenue? No, that's not where that would be. It would be more about his experiences and relationships with business owners, with business leaders, with donors, with coaches. The thing that stuck out to me, and I think one of the things that there's no doubt, that said Barry Alvarez written all over it. We've talked enough with Barry. Obviously, I've known Barry for a long time. Coaches are what drive the athletic department. Yes, you have people that are generating. Coaches putting good product on the field and having kids that play hard and work hard and get their degrees and all of those things. The education component to this, it's not about, it is about the growth and what this university can do. That is the difference. But going back to just having coaches that feel appreciated, that don't feel micromanaged, that give their kids and their department, their teams, the best chance to win, the resources that they need, that's what his job is. And it was abundantly clear he understands that, as he put it, in spades. That, I think, is very, being involved, making sure that that those coaches know you care, and then giving them what they need to do it. And then it's on them if they don't get it and they get booted. That's all part of this, too, because the win columns, the old left side, the wins, that is what matters the most when it comes to getting fans excited, getting fans to want to invest, getting business leaders to want to have sponsorships and partnerships with those folks. It's because they see a product that they know resonates with people. And I think that is going to be job one for Shawn Eichorst.
Jeff in Greenfield on the text portion of the Carbless Talk and text line. Absolutely love this guy after hearing him speak. And believe me, I am not an easy sell. I also heard loud and clear that Coach Fickell better update his resume if he doesn't produce at least 8 or 9 wins. I didn't hear that. Did my audio go out? It's about time a hire like this was made. That's from Jeff in Greenfield. Look, I don't know what exactly Luke Fickell has to do to make a new athletic director feel good about the direction of the football program, but winning is one of them, no doubt about it. I am curious, though, because, and I always think of Riley Yauk. We love Riley. Young Riley's great. And he's a rising star on ESPN Wisconsin. And he what, I don't know, meh or mid. I don't know what the young person term was that he used.
It was meh.
After the news.
I can't confirm it was meh.
Meh, yeah, meh. I thought it was that. And I get it. I don't think Shawn Eichorst needed to come in and win you over or win me over, right? Because we're from that era and you played for Barry. I think some of the things he said, though, and especially when I came back with I lied, I have one more question about money, I thought that answer was a pretty damn good answer. And it included also the point that we always make on here, which is still it needs to be more regulated so the playing field is more level. But how does Shawn Eichorst go about winning over the Riley Yauks of the world, who are young guys and young alumni who maybe don't see the Barry Alvarez era the same way because they weren't alive for it, and maybe don't know exactly what his experience previously does for them in today's college landscape?
It's simple. It is winning, and it's about having those results because, yes, there's going to be skeptics of everything that is happening because of kind of how the last couple of football seasons have went, and that's completely fair to have happen. And until you show that things are headed in a direction that is more in line with where you're looking, everybody wants, it's like my old buddy T-Stro always used to tell me, a winner has 1,000 fathers and a loser is an orphan. That's what this is. Like, the best way to get a lot of folks to jump on board is by winning. You can look at the U.S. soccer team. There's a lot of folks that I think feel like I do that are now like, oh, well, they're winning. Hey, I'll tune in. I'll check it out. I'm more intrigued because they're now – everything keeps getting bigger and bigger. If they're playing a qualifier against Venezuela in a CONCACAF Cup or something else, I'm probably not that intrigued. But if they're playing in a Sweet 16 World Cup, same thing. You beat Notre Dame up at Lambeau. And all of a sudden, everybody is going to be, oh, maybe it is a little different this time around. That's how you get the Riley Yauchs and some of the other folks on board.
All right, we'll check in on the Carbless Talk and text line again, 844-770-3776.
I have a private text. I'm not going to say who it's from, but in kind of the same conversation we just were having, and it's NIL didn't exist when Barry was involved. Right. Funding of athletics and universities have changed significantly in perception of higher education. So with all due respect to Barry's great legacy, is he really in a position to provide relevant advice anymore? Which I thought was an interesting text. I would say yes. Now, again, I'm not saying you should have Barry Alvarez say we should do X amount of concerts and we should do this and we should utilize more. That is not what I'm saying. But I'll say this, his relationship building and how he approached going around and making the entire state feel like a part of it, not just Middleton and Verona and it's all throughout the state. And one of the things that you could hear in Shawn's voice was he wants to get out and meet people. He wants to have his people get out and meet people. You know, Greg Gard is fantastic at this.
Yes.
Greg Gard, you will see him out at a steak fry. He'll be at a bingo hall. He is out pounding pavement and getting people, because that's retail politics 101. Hey, I'm going to like you a lot more if I have an interaction with you that's somewhat positive. It doesn't even have to be overly positive, somewhat positive. And I think that's something that we need to get back to.
That is a really good text from your unnamed private texter. I got a private text as well, which I will make public momentarily, from someone we may have been discussing there. Look, I would just say this about Barry Alvarez's influence. You take pieces of everyone that can help you be better at your job, but you take the pieces that you believe are applicable, right? You are not going to ask Barry Alvarez for a bunch of advice on NIL funding or NIL approach, because that is not his wheelhouse. But relationships, to your point, is a great example, right? And the approach that he took in the things that are still in existence in college athletics, I think he'd be a fool not to take advantage of them. We will get into another private text. His name rhymes with Riley Yauch. After Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Well, just like a great team needs great protection, so does your family. Spent a career on the O-line, and trust me, you're going to know when you're protected. You're going to play a whole lot better. That's what American Family Insurance is all about. With the right home and auto coverage, they'll help protect what you've worked hard for and the dreams that you're building for the future. That way you can focus on family and not the what-ifs. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
What does Riley think? He sent me a text, but is he in the office? Like, is he? Do you just want to go get him and have him sit in the studio, Wooly?
I did just poke my head out there. I do not see him here, so he might be listening from home. Whenever he does get here, he is more than welcome to go sit in there, yeah.
I will, well, young Riley did send me a text, and I will read it to everyone. I'll read it to the class. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Vortex Golf makes rangefinders for serious golfers who need an accurate number every time. With 3 options, the Blade Slope, and Anarch, there's a Vortex rangefinder that fits your game. Crystal clear optics and features like image stabilization keep you steady in big moments. Plus, every Vortex Golf product is backed by a no-questions-asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for an accurate number every time, Vortex Golf belongs on your bag. Grab yours and everything you need for golf season in Wisconsin at Shields.com.
A strong team makes all the difference, and Everlight Solar just expanded theirs. Everlight now offers roofing and exterior services for homeowners dealing with storm damage. From the first call to the final repair, Everlight quickly handles everything under one roof. When your roof takes a hit, you've got a team behind you. Start today at everlightroofing.com. That's everlightroofing.com. Everlight, powering through any storm. A proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics.
At Associated Bank, we know it's not always fun thinking about saving. You know what is fun? Not thinking about it. That's why we call it automated savings. You save automatically. How much you want, how often you want, for whatever you want. And if you don't know how much to save, well, that's why we're here. We'll suggest an amount so you hit your target without ever thinking about it. See, saving can be fun, especially when it's automatic. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/yougotthis. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here, and take it from me, the best game nights start with pizza. Try the new crispy Parm Pan Pizza, featuring crispy baked Parmesan on the crust for a golden cheesy crunch in every bite. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping crispy Parm Pan for just $10, or make it a large for just $3 more. Order online at pizzahut.com or download the Pizza Hut app to order and find more great deals. The new crispy Parm Pan Pizza, available now at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Life moves fast. Your car should move with it. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, they've got a vehicle and payment options that fit every stage of your journey. Just graduated? Start smart in a Chevy Trax. Stylish, efficient, and budget-friendly. Growing your family? The Equinox gives you the space and versatility you need. And when life gets even bigger, the Traverse or Tahoe is ready for it all. Kids, carpools, and road trips. Visit them today in Sun Prairie or online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The Miz is bringing the heat.
Mizorowski at the belt, kicks and deals. Struck him out swinging. Blew him away with a fastball at 103. Miz gets out of it.
This is 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Good morning, young Riley. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we're happy to have you as a guest. Are you producing our show at any point with Jesse, or are you too busy with the afternoon show, Molly and the other guy?
Yeah, I believe I'm a little busy with Molly and Jim this week. I did not see my name on the content schedule filling in with you guys, unfortunately.
Well, you'll have to give us an update on your love life some other time. But we would like, because you. Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay. You are from a different era of Wisconsin alumni than Tausch and I are. So your text I was encouraged to read, even though you're not as hard to win over as Jim and Greenfield, perhaps, maybe. But what did you think as you listened to Shawn Eichorst as you were making your way to the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios?
Yeah, I really liked what I heard. And just to sort of echo what I texted you, I think my favorite answer he gave was on that final money question, where he emphasized how much, you can just tell he's a really smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. He has been here before, especially with his time at Texas. And I think one of the nuggets that stuck out to me is that he's already talked to the top 25 donors. That gave me a lot of encouragement. That relieved some of my anxieties because he's talking about people first. But I think one of the YouTube comments mentioned he hadn't mentioned donors. He hadn't mentioned boosters yet. And then he said, oh, yeah, I've already talked to the top 25 guys who are giving us money. That makes me happy when it comes to thinking about Wisconsin being competitive monetarily speaking. But the biggest thing, he seems to be incredibly people-focused, which I think regardless of what era you're an alumni of, how old you are as a fan, you can get behind someone who is saying, I want to put the right people in place and let them be great. And that's why I think, Tausch, you were reading those texts about, Barry's not going to be advising Eichorst on NIL legislation or anything like that. But everyone loves Barry. I love Barry. I produce for Barry. But just because I don't think he needs to be involved in every decision ever made at the University of Wisconsin doesn't mean he can't be useful when it comes to winning over people in the state and people who are surrounding the University of Wisconsin. So I liked what I heard, especially with that last answer, and the fact that he seems to be very focused on building relationships. That's encouraging to me.
Well, then I'm glad that I lied and add that final question. So you have gone from meh to something much better than meh.
Yes.
Acknowledging that talk is cheap, as he said himself, and now it's time to get to work.
Yes, exactly. And I hope I had one guy after I made we posted the take of me saying that this feels like Mac 2.0, which it did feel like he's Nebraska's Mac. If you talk to Nebraska fans, I'm assuming most of them would feel the same way that a lot of us Badgers fans feel about Mac. That's how it felt to me initially. I didn't have a lot of reasons to be excited. But I said, I want to be excited. I don't think I'm the hardest person, the hardest Badgers fan in the world to win over. And what he said is getting me excited about the future of the Wisconsin Athletic Department. I really like the direction he seems to want to go.
And those Nebraska fans that you spoke with, those are all friends of yours that you made when you went to the College World Series in Omaha and were wearing no, you went to the SEC tournament.
Exactly.
What am I thinking?
Yes. I do have some friends from Nebraska, though.
You do. And that was the feedback you got from them.
Yes, they are also younger, so their perspective is probably a little jaded, maybe a little less intensive than people who were older and not my age back in the mid-2010s. But yeah,
we need
they were
people like them and you, though. We need people like them and you because you do bring a different perspective.
Here's what I would say, and you know what, Riley is a young, energetic Badger fan. He just wants to have some hope. He wants you to throw him a little bit. And you mentioned the donors. You would think that this isn't probably that big a deal that, Shawn Eichorst would give, 25 top donors a call. But I can tell you that it does, because people don't want to just write a check. And that comes from, if it's, I don't care how small of a donor you are or a big donor, They want to feel like they have access, and they want to feel like they're a part of it. Riley wants to feel like he's a part of it. He wants the athletic director, the head ball coach, it doesn't matter what sport, if there's a time where they can get a handshake and a thanks for supporting us, for a lot of people it's like, what the hell, it doesn't matter. But that's not the reality. It does matter. And retail politics and the personal touches of doing little things like that make huge differences, especially when things aren't going well. Especially when, you need some support. You don't need everybody, because I'll tell you this. If you don't do those things and you don't win, you're going to get buried. If you do those things, people will give you a little longer rope. People will say, let's let them work through some stuff. And Shawn Eichorst also said numerous times, it's going to take time. This isn't going to be a snap fix. Like, we're going to be great. But he knows what big boy budgets look like. He knows where this revenue is. He knows to compete with the Texases and the Ohio States, we're going to have to grow revenue. And it's really difficult to just come in day one and say, well, this is how we're going to do it. Well, you better start planting and letting things grow than just say, hey, Jack, give me a beanstalk. I need to climb to the college football playoffs. Well, you know something? I better give you some seeds and some water, and then I got to have a little sunshine. And you know what? It might not grow to the top right away. I might need to replant, and I might need to plant more, because maybe that first beanstalk ain't going to get me there. I might need to plant 3-4 different beanstalks in order to get to the college football playoff. Because I'm certain Jack's story ain't going to be that great if it was Jack and the beanstalk that dwindled and didn't get enough sun or didn't get enough water and ended up shrinking and we got nothing.
Shawn
Eichorst wants to get a beanstalk. He wants to get some beanstalks so he can climb, and that takes some time.
Riley, I know you have other responsibilities. We may keep you for another segment. I do have a question to follow up with Tausch. And by the way, I know you were critical of the window analogy and the glazing it received. I don't know if the beanstalk is just, hey, Jack, get me a beanstalk, but that was good stuff. I really enjoyed that as well. And then is the golden goose at the top of aren't the golden eggs at the top of the beanstalk? Am I conflating two different fairy tales? I feel like that's what is like, you get up there, you get to the golden eggs, and then you've got what you need for your athletic department. I want to ask Tausch a question about retail politics.
Do golden eggs have white on them, or is it all yolk?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. I'm more of a chocolate egg guy. But before we get to that, Tausch needs to tell us about Annex Wealth Management, which knows a thing or two about being big donors and having people with money.
Indeed, and life events. And if you experienced some over the past couple of years, well, we all have. Change, as we heard Shawn Eichorst say, change is constant. Whether it's the sale of a company, death, divorce, health crisis, helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, I'm sure the Swifts probably have to look into doing that. Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference in the world. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. That sounds like athletic department stuff. Probably
Indeed.
all those things would fit. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com so you can get started on your growth of beanstalks or whatever you're trying to grow in your life.
I love Matt LePay. Didn't have a Jack and the Beanstalk comp on my bingo card for today. No, I didn't either, but that's what makes this show great, is Old T. By the way, for those of you that are not Jack and the Beanstalk aficionados, per Wikipedia, a poor boy trades his family's cow for magic beans, which grow into a giant beanstalk reaching the clouds. Jack climbs it to find a giant's castle where he steals treasures like a hen that lays golden eggs. So I'm not crazy. I want to ask Tausch a question about retail politics. Riley, can you stick around for another segment?
Yeah, I got time.
All right, more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Creating lasting impressions every season, every day. That's the Olson Toon landscaping difference. Since 1997, Olson Toon has been transforming outdoor spaces across Dane County. From landscaping and concrete to excavation and maintenance, they're your one team for everything outdoors, keeping your property looking its best year-round. With experienced professionals and a collaborative approach, every project is built around your vision. Ready to elevate your space? Let's get started. Head to olsontoon.com today.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Surfside iced tea and lemonade plus vodka is your go-to drink this golf season. It's light, refreshing, made with real vodka and zero bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. This spring, look out for the brand new half and half variety pack featuring flavors like raspberry iced tea and lemonade and blackberry iced tea and lemonade. No bubbles, no troubles. Cheers to hitting the fairway and cheers to Surfside. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Looking to buy your next home or ready to sell and move on to bigger and better things? What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Ready for some fun in the sun this season? Let's get housed. Nobody knows what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
From green and gold to red, white, and blue.
And man, he just keeps being tremendous, keeps just showing everybody that he's not just Antonio Freeman's son, that he is really Alex Freeman.
Find the full interview with Wilde and Tausch, available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Wilde and Tausch and Riley and Wooly and Fee-Fi Fo-Fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. which is what the Giant says in Jack and the Beanstalk. All right, Tausch, I need to ask you this. Jennifer in the YouTube comments says, 10-year volleyball season ticket holder here. Never once saw Mac at a match, even during the national championship run and the huge growth. I hope Shawn is different. Now, again, that is anecdotal. I don't know. I don't know how many times Mac went to a volleyball match. But I would say this. You said about retail politics. Is that something that there were those who criticized Mac for not doing as extensively as maybe he could have or should have or would have? Was that not the club that he had in his bag that he was most comfortable with? Or how do you kind of view that? Because it sure sounds, it's kind of like NFL coaches, right? Like the Minnesota Vikings had Mike Tice, and he was kind of loosey-goosey, and so they brought in Chile now to give them a measure of discipline, right? And so I'm curious, do you feel like Shawn Eichorst is a little bit at the opposite end in terms of the engagement factor, or do you think it's just a lesson that he took from the previous administration?
I think when you can look back at how people spend their time and what they do, I think Shawn Eichorst is obviously looking at this and saying this is going to be something important. There's no doubt that there are, and part of it is there are a lot of tough decisions that had to be made in the last time. I know the track and field saga, the Hall of Fame saga that all played out, that I think soured a lot of folks. And those are things that I'm sure Shawn is looking at, saying we need to improve upon not only the PR standpoint on that, but it's more so how you make people feel when you're in a room. It doesn't. I mean, you can't be everywhere. If you're an athletic director, if you're a ball coach, especially in today's day and age when you have to constantly be recruiting, it's when you are there, how you make those folks feel. And I think Shawn has seen probably down at Texas and how that world works. You need to be out there. You need to put yourself out, and you need to show coaches that it's important to you. You need to show the fans. I think it's always great. You see Barry Alvarez, I don't know if that was at a Final Four game where he does that little thumbs up bit.
Uh-huh.
Just being out there and doing those things to say we're here, we're supporting. I don't know how much he knows about volleyball. I don't know any of it, but I know this. It's about supporting your coaches and your players and your fans in a big way, and that is a huge task. And I do think that's an important part of the job that Shawn Eichorst just jumped into.
Riley, one more thing for you before we let you go do your other parts of your job. Shawn Eichorst mentioned his time at Texas and where their football program was. I know a lot of us, including myself, if I had not looked it up, we think of Texas as a perennial power and loaded with NIL money. In the years before he arrived, and is it Chris Del Conte who was their athletic director that he worked under? Texas football from 2014 through 2017, the 4 seasons leading into that change in administration, 6-7, 5-7, 5-7, and 7-6. After that, 10-4, 8-5, 7-3. They had a setback with Sarkisian in 2021, but the last 3 years, 12-2, 13-3, 10-3, reaching the college football playoff 2 years ago. So, look, that all matters. My question for you, Riley, is you are there for Wisconsin College Game Day. You're closer to the student population than we are age-wise. Tausch and I say it all. It's all about football, and then everything else comes from that. From your perspective, when you look at the Wisconsin football program and the season that's ahead, what do you want to see that will tell you that there has been meaningful growth that will keep you on the Eichorst bandwagon, which you have now jumped on?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, me and Jim were talking about this, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago on the Jump Around, in regards to how Wisconsin looks against Notre Dame. how do they play Notre Dame? Is that going to set the tone for the season? And I understand Notre Dame is a top 5 football team. They're a national championship contender. But how does the team look? That's what I want to see. Like, are they making the little mistakes? Are they playing what we know as Wisconsin Badgers football? And I believe Eichorst referenced it, that we have a way here at Wisconsin that works. Not that it necessarily needs to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but is everything in sync? Are the players dialed in? Like, it's more so, how does this team look? Are they a cohesive unit? We also had the opportunity to talk to Nazir Forkarine a few months ago, and he said last year there was more togetherness, there was more bondedness on last year's team than any other team in the Luke Fickell era, and they had the worst record out of any team in the Luke Fickell era. So does that carry over? Can we see them build on the momentum from those big Washington and big Illinois upsets? That's what I want to see. It's not necessarily, it's obviously wins and losses. I want to see 8 to 9 wins. But it's more so, does it look more like Wisconsin football? Does it look like how we're used to seeing it when they were getting 10 wins a year, when they were playing under Barry, when they were playing under Brett, when they were playing under Christ? And you ask about the student perspective, I'm in the minority of liking Luke Fickell and wanting Luke Fickell to succeed. I think when it comes to the student population and the younger generation, I think a lot of my fellow students and a lot of the fellow young people who got into school right when Fickell was starting, I believe it was my sophomore year when the Fickell regime started, and we were all super excited. This is going to be awesome. We're going to get to see the best era of Wisconsin football ever. I think a lot of young people feel snake bitten by the Luke Fickell regime. They came in with so much excitement, so much pomp and circumstance, and now they haven't been at all where we've wanted to see them. So I think a lot of people are already out on Fickell right now when it comes to the younger population. I think that they can turn it around. I think he can succeed. I want to see them succeed. I want Fickell to be here for 5, 10, 15 plus years, but right now, they're going to need to do a lot to win back the younger crowd.
Riley, that can all change in, what do we have, 2 months? Mm-hmm. Right? That can all change with one night up at Lambeau Field.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, Riley, I don't really need, when I say my freshman year was Barry Alvarez's first year, and you saying, oh, Fickell came my sophomore year, I didn't need that.
Sorry.
So we're gonna say goodbye to our young correspondents and let you get to your other activities. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
The Giannis era is over in Milwaukee.
If Giannis wanted to be a Milwaukee Buck, he could have made that clear. At no point did he say he didn't want to be a Milwaukee Buck, and at no point did he say he wanted to be a Milwaukee Buck.
Continue reacting right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffel's July 4th sale. Save up to 30%, plus get $75 off every $799 you spend. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. The AD has spoken. In an online press conference with Select Media, new Badgers AD Shawn Eichorst spoke about his tumultuous time at Nebraska and how he learned from it. Audio courtesy of Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
My experience in Nebraska, what I take away is growth. We all learn, especially times of adversity, resilience, all those things we talk to our young people about. I'm looking in the mirror. And so I look at it as a positive.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't play games, just straightforward pricing, premium quality, and trusted Pella certified installation. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Mark Tauscher here, and there is nothing better on a hot summer day than cracking open an ice-cold Coors Light. Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans turn blue, so you know it is chilled to perfection, and there's nothing quite like the feeling of opening up the cooler and snagging an ice-cold Coors Light with those beautiful blue mountains painted perfectly on the side of the can. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
It's well known that the boss at the exteriors company is a perfectionist.
It's a gift.
He not only oversees every job, he inspects each aspect of the operation to get to the root of what your project will actually need to be long-lasting.
Call 960-ROOF.
Oh, he's proud of all the reviews.
What can I say? Take a look.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level this offseason? GRB Rays Youth Fall Baseball is built for player development, giving athletes the reps they need to improve. With 2 practices each week and games on Sundays, players stay sharp and keep growing all fall long. And more importantly, the opportunity to elevate their skills when it matters most. Don't just maintain, get better. Register for this fall now at rays.grbacademy.com. That's rays.grbacademy.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and take it from me, the best game nights start with Pizza Hut. Try the new crispy Parm Pan Pizza, featuring crispy baked Parmesan on the crust for a golden cheesy crunch in every bite. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping crispy Parm Pan for just $10, or make it a large for just $3 more. Order online at pizzahut.com or download the Pizza Hut app to order and find more great deals. The new crispy Parm Pan Pizza, available now at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
William Contreras is an all-star.
Pitch and a high fly ball. This ball's way back and way gone. Wild Bill, a 3-run shot.
Tune into the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
What's most important for Wisconsin's new AD?
My first question, I guess, really becomes what's going to happen with Fickle. How good do we think Fickle has to be this year? And honestly, I think he's got to be better than anybody even thinks.
Continue reacting right here on 100.5 ESPN.
All right, we'll kick off the 11 o'clock hour momentarily, but Tausch is going to tell us about UW Credit Union, which I assume Shawn Eichorst just remained after he left UW. But first, do you have one more text, Wooly, that you liked from the Carbless Talk and text line before we pivot in the 11 o'clock hour?
Yeah, I think there was a great one here from Maddie Kunin on the Carbless ESPN Madison Talk and text line. Just honestly, the fact that a lot of things that Shawn didn't say, you could tell it feels like there's a true self-awareness from him about what wasn't going right and what needs to change for Wisconsin. And I feel like Matt lays that out here pretty well. But I think just in general, like knowing that you have to connect with fans again is the number one most important thing. And I think everyone's hammered that home. Everyone realizes that's the thing that needs to change.
Matt's text is this: I like what I heard, but today is the least important day of his tenure, so I don't take a ton from it. I was most encouraged by what he didn't explicitly say. There were a couple of moments where I felt he was about to say, shape up or ship out for those who aren't on board. Look, the reality, again, and Tausch, you know this as well as anyone, and you were part of the salad days of the athletic department and back-to-back Rose Bowls and everything else, is that, as we talk about all the time, it is a difficult landscape to navigate, but that doesn't change the fact that you have to navigate it. And that was one of the things that I liked about it, what we heard from him, is that he acknowledges that, look, yeah, it needs to be better regulated, this and that, and bigger stadiums and everything else. But the bottom line, as you always say, is win. That's what it's about. And they need to do that. And I think he more than understands that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think you can always kind of tell, that he has not even been formally announced yet. but you can always kind of tell where someone's top priority is by what they continue to message and what they say. And I think it was fairly obvious, he understands that the Nebraska era of his tenure is going to get talked about, and the resiliency part of it, you find that piece of it out. And then I don't know how many times he said the people, the fans, the coaches. It comes down to that is where his focus is going to be. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you want to be everything to everybody. But those points were pounded home by Shawn, and I'm sure when he was interviewed and how that process went, that was what he continued to reiterate, because there is no doubt that the fans in the state of Wisconsin have a ton of pride and a ton of passion for their teams. We know that as well as anybody in doing this show 10 years and feeling it and having a job because of that. And it's on the leaders, whether it's the Packers, Brewers, Badgers, etc., to give the fans something to get excited and passionate about. Because we've seen on the other side of it, luckily for us, it hasn't been a ton. But we saw that passion leave the building down at Fiserv the last 2 months of the season. Now it's up to the new era to reset that. You could say the same thing from a football standpoint here. Shawn Eichorst knows that that's what's going to be his defining deal, and making sure he has the right people in place to do their jobs is at the top of his list. And that's when I asked that question, what's the biggest thing? I don't think I finished the sentence, and he said people. People. That's what's going to turn it around.
All right, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour, which will include trivia and Wooly, but we can't get there until Tausch tells us about UW Credit Union.
Well, I am a UW Credit Union member, and for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, they're going to help you reach your financial goals. Members, they can get their money up to 2 days sooner with early payday, and, of course, their great mobile app that I've talked to you about for years. It is fantastic. Simple way to check accounts, make transfers, and more. That is a smart play from the pocket. Join today at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We kick off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update, brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. New Wisconsin Badgers Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst joined Wilde and Tausch earlier this morning. With concerns about the future of Wisconsin's fundraising and NIL efforts in the modern landscape of college sports, Eichorst says that ultimately, talk is cheap.
Right? Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it. Right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment.
Listen back to Eichhorst's full appearance on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Also continue reacting with us right here on Wilde and Tausch for the final hour of the show on ESPN Madison. Then it was also a newsy weekend for the 4th of July for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Crew took 2 of 3 from the Diamondbacks, but they lost pitcher Brandon Woodruff in the process as he's gone back on IL with once again experiencing dead arm issues on the mound during Saturday's start. Read more over at ESPN.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Joining us now is the Green Bay Packers' new head coach, Matt LaFleur on Wilde and Tausch.
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
Matt LaFleur, Matt Nagy, and Matt Patricia. Who is the most famous non-NFC North head coach not named Matt? No, I'm sorry.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison.
Who is the most famous non-NFC North head coach named Matt? Matt Damon, Matt Ryan, somebody else.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
Can you repeat that question?
Sorry.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Some breaking news from the NFL, and obviously this is not like massive breaking news, but it does, again, reiterate to me, anyway, about where I kind of feel like the Packers roster is at its most uncertain. And it's not the offensive line. It is the cornerback group. Veteran free agent cornerback Rasul Douglas signing a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Tausch, obviously, we were never expecting the Packers to sign Rasul Douglas, although they have added more 30-somethings than we're accustomed to them adding. Is that still, like, I saw that and my first thought was not, hey, good for Rasul. That was my second thought. My first thought was, man, I just don't know how I feel about the depth at their cornerback group. Are you in that same group, or am I alone in that opinion?
No, I think that's obviously we saw them approach or address that spot in the draft with 2 picks. And I think Rasul Douglas, there must have been more to that story, because he came in, no expectations, as they basically picked him up, June, July-ish.
No, they signed him off the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. Like he wasn't even playing.
Very good player. Yeah, he was a very good player for the Green Bay Packers. And then all of a sudden, you just trade him, and you ended up getting good value back. I think they traded him to Buffalo, and you got good value back. And you always just kind of wonder, if that is the case and you need depth and you have injuries and you have, last year I know they went and ended up bringing Diggs from Dallas in late in the season, took a flyer on him. I always am kind of curious. There must be more to that story, or why wouldn't Sewell have been someone that you brought back because he knew the system? Mm-hmm. Good football player, and this time of year, I understand why you don't. But when you start getting into September, October, and you feel like your depth isn't where it needs to be, I always why not go back to the guy that you know really well and know what you're getting, unless there have been something that popped up, or you just feel like their skills have eroded, which does happen. And so I always was kind of envisioning Sewell coming back to Green Bay at some point, and now obviously when this happens, he signs somewhere in July. Usually that means, at least for this next season, that's not going to be the case.
The Packers have added veteran presence. I did a little thing for the News 3 now. News at 10 last night on Zaire Franklin, and he is one of now 4, having celebrated his 30th birthday while America was celebrating its 250th. He is now the 4th member of the 30-something crew on the Packers roster. The others, again, are backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor, Javon Hargrave, who is 33, who they picked up in free agency, and Matt Orzech, their long snapper. So those are the 4 that have had their 30th birthday. this is the kind of window before training camp starts, and then once training camp gets underway at the end of the month, when maybe you add another guy or two to your roster. But generally speaking, at this point in the year, Tausch, this is your team, right? And if injuries happen, then you'll maybe add somebody, but I don't think, Rasul going to Washington notwithstanding, I don't see any significant additions between now and the start of camp. Do you?
No, I mean, there's always things that pop up, and especially with injuries that occur during training camp, you start maybe sniffing around a little bit more. Or maybe, we probably could have had this conversation last year at this time, and then, a week before the season starts, Micah Parsons falls into your lap. So you never know what is going on at other places, because coaches will always tell you, you're competing, don't count the numbers of how many guys are at this spot or how many guys are at that spot, because you're competing with 31 other teams too. If they can like you a lot, but if there is somebody on another team that is either gets released or is up for trade and they believe is better than you are, they will replace you.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you understand that, you can work hard, you do all the right stuff, there's always that option of someone else being able to be out there. And I think the league looks at that as a healthy way to make sure you're not getting fat and happy. And if you're, a Green Bay Packer right now, you're feeling like you're in the too deep, you're feeling really good. As I always, bring up Eddie Lacy, things change, and when things go very quickly. And Sewell, good luck to you in Washington, but I didn't think he was going to be a Green Bay Packer, and now this will tell you that he's probably not. That doesn't mean every corner that's going to be on this roster is on the roster right now when they head up to Minneapolis, because things can change pretty quickly.
All right, let's play some trivia. Wooly, you got the green light here, or did Jesse send you these?
Yep, Sports Weekend Recap. The 4th of July Sports Weekend Recap, written by Primetime Wollersheim.
Did he teach you how to use the telestrator before he left? Did you want to write down the number of caller? Or?
I will say, before the show started, I was really trying to figure out how he got that to work, because I had never seen that before he started doing it on Thursday's show last week.
You're a little jelly of jelly, aren't you?
I'm very jelly. Honestly, that's... the John Madden references were amazing last week.
Here's a guy who doesn't like soccer.
Here's a guy who doesn't like soccer. Here's a guy who hates FIFA. And there's going to be some FIFA questions and trivia. But no, I do not know how to write down the number of the caller.
Okay. What caller would you like then?
Let's go caller number 11.
Caller number 11 right now for Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf and Cousins Subs. Caller 11, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 11 plays trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, as sports fans, we always hope our teams get to prove that they're the best at what they do. And guess who's proven over the last several years that they are a best of Madison operation? You got it. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Zimbrick's service team takes great care of my vehicle anytime I need to bring it in, for serious issues or just for routine maintenance. Tune-ups, battery checks, tire rotations, oil changes, and much more. They're going to make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you don't get stranded on the side of the road. And of course, if you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is the perfect place to start your search. Stop by the dealership or even begin the process online from anywhere at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. There are always great offers to take advantage of each month. View inventory, schedule a service appointment, and learn more about all Zimbrick Chevrolet has to offer that makes them a best of Madison operation. Call or click at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Dealing with storm damage? That's never fun. That's why homeowners are turning to Everlight Solar for roofing and exterior repairs done right. They handle the entire process, from insurance claims to fixing your roof, with one trusted team. Less stress, faster solutions, and a home that stays protected from the elements. If your roof took a hit, Everlight's got you covered. Visit EverlightRoofing.com to get started today. That's EverlightRoofing.com. Everlight, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics.
Mark Tauscher here for Buckin' Honeys. Summer in Wisconsin is too good to spend indoors. And whether you're meeting the crew after work, grabbing dinner before the game, or just looking for a great patio spot, Buckin' Honeys has you covered. Their spacious patios are the perfect place to enjoy award-winning dishes, craft cocktails, and an easygoing atmosphere. Visit their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb. Grab your people, find a spot on the patio, and make the most of summer at Buckin' Honeys. We'll see you there.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Time to criticize the questions in trivia just like we would if Jesse asked them. Time now for trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Cool down with the summer shake from Cousin Subs. Enjoy 4 delicious flavors: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and mint. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. And by Vortex Golf. Trivia winners this week receive a hat, ball marker, sticker, and a blade rangefinder courtesy of Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
That is sweet. So is that button sticky?
That one is not sticky. I'll be honest. Last time I heard you guys play trivia, I thought you played it at the end because it is a little long. I thought that was how you guys were operating now.
It's because Jesse couldn't get the button to work.
Well, Jesse, yeah, his buttons usually don't work unless you're pushing his.
Like to push his button.
Yeah,
so. All right, let's welcome in our contestant. It is Travis in Blue Mounds. Travis, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. You?
I am good. Thank you for asking. The category is the 4th of July Sports Weekend Recap. Question number 1 is this. 2 Milwaukee Brewers were named MLB All-Stars this past weekend. Which of these players was not named to the Midsummer Classic? Is it Jacob Mizorowski, Bryce Terang, or William Contreras?
C.
The Miz and Contreras named to the All-Star team. Bryce Terang snubbed. I believe he's being viewed as the biggest snub of any snub.
Any list you find, the biggest snubs from this year's Midsummer Classic, every single one, ESPN.com, MLB.com, it's clear that he was the most deserving second baseman in the NL, and he's not even the reserve. So, yeah.
Tausch, how do we grade question 1 without a funny answer as answer C?
I want people to be authentic. Wooly is being woolly.
It's a big deal, honestly. Like this isn't a laughing matter, Jason. Bryce Terang got snubbed from the All-Star game.
Okay. Could have been question 2.
Well, I was told to make him easier and progressively harder, and I felt like that was the easiest, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Well.
So, Travis, you might want to step it up.
Jeez.
I have a good feeling for this next one. This should be common knowledge for any American.
All right, Travis, I believe the gauntlet has been thrown down by Wooly. Step it up, man! Here we go, question 2. Joey Chestnut won his 18th mustard belt title.
Yeah, he did.
At the annual July 4th hot dog eating contest on Coney Island on Saturday. How many hot dogs and buns did Joey consume? Was it 51, 66, or 77, thus breaking his own world record of 76 hot dogs eaten in 2021?
B, I believe.
He answered the challenge. You threw it down.
Stepping up like Joey Chestnut did. Well done. Well done.
Are you a hot dog eating contest guy?
No, I think it's
Are you sure?
disgusting.
Because you knew the mustard belts, you knew the record.
I mean,
sure?
That was in the ESPN article that I found. Honestly, they mentioned the mustard belt. Now I left out the name of the organization because they don't sell ice cream, but everything else is like pretty common knowledge. I feel like when it comes to the July 4th eating contest on Coney Island on Saturday.
Indeed. Question 3, Travis, another opportunity to get one right here.
Do you think Chestnut could eat the same amount of brats?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Like hot dog, brat, as long as they're the same size.
A brat's definitely bigger.
Okay, I
don't.
If you're gonna make it bigger, then yeah.
Well, they would be bigger.
Well, yeah, but you could make
thicker.
Couldn't you just make like a hot dog sized brat and then they would just eat those instead? Like if this was a Wisconsin.
I don't think it works that way, but I can ask our friends at Jones Dairy and we can find out about how that all plays out.
I will say it is incredible to me that he did all that while it was 92 degrees outside too. Just absolutely abysmal experience.
So the dunking them in water makes it easier for it to go down, right? Because it would seem to add more volume to it by doing that, right?
I think it does, but I think it helps expand the stomach too, which actually helps like fit more dogs in. And then there are other competitors who are also like drinking soda during it, which is the most disgusting thing I can imagine doing. Like they have like cups.
I think there's another
giant
disgusting
Big
aspect that I don't want to think about right now. Question 3, Travis, is this.
That's why it was question 2, Jason.
FIFA shocked the soccer world ahead of the U.S. men's national team's round of 16 game versus Belgium tonight as they justly and without any hint of corruption. Wow, I didn't know you were editorializing in these questions.
It's just the truth.
Lifted a 1-game suspension on this star striker from the United States. Is it Christian Pulisic, Alex Freeman, or Folarin Balogun?
Balogun.
That's not what it says here. BA is. I checked the pronunciation.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
All right. Well,
anyway, A, B, or C, Travis?
A, I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, Travis. You answered the call on question 2. You did not get number 3. If you have not heard Folarin Balogun's name in the last 24 hours, I'm kind of shocked, to be honest.
Folarin Balogun.
Well, I just didn't hear it when he just asked the question, so I'm not. What do you mean we're shocked? I didn't even know the pronunciation of it.
Well,
Balogun.
I've only heard Balogun from anyone who's talked about it. I guess I've mostly heard his name rather than read it most of the times, but I do believe it is Balogun. Balogun.
Well, the bottom line, despite this nice little graphic with a person's mouth on Google that are trying to teach me how to say his name, is that was the correct answer and we didn't get it. Travis, you're a longtime contestant. You fared better. I don't know if you've ever fared worse, but nevertheless, you got 1 right. That means you got 2 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate you playing, buddy, and we appreciate your loyalty to the show.
You.
Thanks.
Thanks.
That is Wilde and Tausch trivia. Justly and without any hint of corruption, huh?
Yeah, as FIFA's well known to do. They always do everything above bar. Everything is very clear and
Very
obvious,
much
and
so.
is never done in the dark or in the shadows or after a call from certain representatives of the United States. Yeah, no, all of that is
You know
very
what?
clear and obvious.
So obviously, I've made my position on FIFA and the World Cup very clear.
Yes, you have.
What I'm very concerned about is what the NFL has wisely steered clear of, because I'm an NFL guy, as you know.
Yes, you are.
You can't watch a soccer match and really have joy with anything that happens because you have to wait for the replay. I hope the NFL is watching.
Good point.
I don't want this whole penalty stuff to ever get to that point. We were close. I fought hard after that interference in the Rams-Saints game, which was a horrible call.
Mm-hmm.
If you start legislating those things every play, it's going to be a miserable fan experience. I'm telling you.
You're right.
I hope we don't. I don't think I'm going to be right on it. I think it's going to go that way because for as much as I don't care for FIFA and the World Cup, it is the most popular sport in the world. What does the NFL want to do? Globalize?
No.
I wouldn't be shocked if you start seeing VAR in this. And when that happens, oh, God. Can you imagine Josh Jacobs busting a 60-yard touchdown run or Marshawn Lloyd, and then VAR, the old coach for the old Benny Johnson VAR, calls, no, that right tackle pulled my guy down, and they go and do that stupid camera angle where it vips around, and sure enough, yep, he tackled him. Oh, no more, bring it back. I'm telling you, it's going to ruin fan experience, but I hope we don't go down that road. I hope we don't.
So I'm glad you brought this up because this is your wheelhouse because you've been right about replay. You called the Sky Judge before they even admitted that they were doing it publicly, right? And now at least they say with replay assist. I am curious how you view. I know you don't understand the offsides call, but I'm wondering how you view the replay of that because we have seen multiple goals in many of the games be disallowed, and it's not called in real time. It's called, and then I think there was one of them where they use that little graphic that looks like the old Wimbledon tennis VAR, and the guy's toe is just barely across the line, but by the letter of the law, I guess he is offsides. Where do you stand on that? Because that affects major scoring plays, and it is not, again, legislated in real time. It is, he scored a goal, but let's go to the VAR.
So it's very similar to, did you cross the plane of the goal line? Did you get your toes in before you were out of bounds? Those things, I don't like the rule, but this is what they're saying. And this is how they know there is no judgment on it. It's not, you can't say, this guy is here. Just like you can't offsides in the NFL if a guy's lined up in the neutral zone. Trust me, the last thing we want to see is every play you could line up, because you could call a defensive guy offsides every time. You could call that. You could call, there's a lot of things that you could call. Now, would that change it? Maybe it would. This to me is very similar to, did he get his foot in bounds? And I don't have a problem in the NFL with them legislating that, because it's concrete. There's no yes or no. Now, the catch, we wore that out to the point now the NFL gave in. And anytime you could go back and call a holding or a pass interference and VAR it, I'm telling you, it will ruin fan experience. And I hope we don't go down that road. I don't know what that would be in soccer, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know enough. Interference, I don't know those rules, so I can't say. But I would say in the NFL, anytime there's a big play, I would throw a flag and I would challenge it, and I don't think that's a road that anybody should want to go down.
Not to be confused with the Balogun red card, right, Willie? All right, Tausch, the experience you've had at MoMA, on the other hand, has been a very positive experience as your knee gets better and better.
Indeed it is, and I've been telling you for a while about my pain in my knee, and I haven't been able to do everything I want, and all the other stuff that you got going on. I was leery. I was like, I wanted to go down and check out MoMA, the Midwest Orthopedic and Musculoskeletal Alliance. They bring together trusted local providers, OIW, SMOC, Innovative Pain. They make it easy to find the right specialist and the right treatment for you. And for me, it was simple. I went to Ortho Laser. I sit down, I have 20 minutes, try to get more blood flow, try to limit some of the arthritis, just try to get it incrementally better. And boy, I've been able to walk a heck of a lot more. I've been able to play golf again. They also have the Surgery Center, Smart Scan, and Mosh, experienced teams that will help focus on getting you feeling better and back to your normal way of life. MoMA can do that. I highly recommend seeing their team, whatever is ailing you, and they'll try and help you personally like they did me. Call or walk in today.
Rye Guy takes over Whoa Nelly with Whoa Wooly. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is our crew.
The pitch, a drive to left. This is high. This is deep. It is gone. William Contreras, a 3-run blast.
This is 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at AnnexWealth.com.
Join me, Erin Ranum, your 2026 Dane County Fairest of the Fair for the Dane County Fair at the Alliant Energy Center July 16th through the 19th. Enjoy the fun for all ages, including stunt dinosaur and magic shows, tractor displays and carnival rides, twin stunts, animals, and more. We'd like to thank our Supreme Grand Champion sponsor, Miller & Son Supermarket, and our Grand Champion sponsor, Blaine's Farm and Fleet. I hope to see you there July 16th through the 19th. For more information, visit DaneCountyFair.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. Ridgetopexteriors.com. That's Ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Remember when a piggy bank held your biggest savings? Here at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, we're breaking ours wide open to give away cash prizes in July. Be here Friday, July 31st when 24 winners will each get $1,000 cash plus a piggy bank that could boost those prizes up to $5,000. Then one grand prize winner will take home up to $25,000 cash. We're giving away up to $83,000 in cash prizes during our Piggy Bank Boost promotion. The piggy bank is overflowing at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Henningsen with Stoughton Health Ortho Team Clinic. I specialize in joint pain and joint pain surgery, specifically hip and knee replacement, including second-time surgery for hip and knee replacement.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Life moves fast. Your car should move with it. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, they've got a vehicle and payment options that fit every stage of your journey. Just graduated? Start smart in a Chevy Trax. Stylish, efficient, and budget-friendly. Growing your family? The Equinox gives you the space and versatility you need. And when life gets even bigger, the Traverse or Tahoe is ready for it all. Kids, carpools, and road trips. Visit them today in Sun Prairie or online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
Jacob Mizorowski is an all-star.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A masterpiece from the Miz!
Tune into the Midsummer Classic on Tuesday, July 14th, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Before we get into Whoa Wooly, sources close to the program tell me that the entirety of our conversation with new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst is now available as a standalone on our YouTube channel, so you can certainly check that out a little bit later after we finish up the show. And, of course, you'll be able to find that later if you just prefer the audio version, to be able to tune into that on ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, and wherever you get your podcast. Time now for Whoa Wooly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
So, Jason, we mentioned it in the Sports Weekend recap as well, which Travis and Blue Mountains did not perform very well in. One of the questions he got wrong was the...
is that really necessary? What do you have against Travis and Blue Mountains?
Well, he's got a little, he's got a little blank and vinegar.
I'll be honest, I listen to trivia every day on your guys' show, and I think it's just too easy every day. Like, it feels patronizing. Wow. I don't like how Jesse operates.
Fired.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like he treats the fans like they don't know anything. So I wanted to, make it a little tougher today, and then I guess I just made it too tough. No, I didn't think it was that tough. Honestly, I thought Bryce Turang being left off the All-Star team roster was a big deal.
I think that's a fair critique. Tausch, you're usually the one who's the arbiter of fairness. Was that a question
first
that
question
Travis should have
was
gotten?
Tough. I thought the other two were very fair. First question was probably too tough.
Okay. There's no funny question or funny answer on C. That was the problem. It should have been
true.
But in Wooly's defense,
Morgan.
I do think Jesse's questions are too easy.
Yes,
you do.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's patronizing the fans.
This is constructive. I like it.
Good. I hope he's listening up north or wherever he's on vacation to for the start
What
of
do you
this
think
week.
the chances are of that?
10%. 10%, yeah. It's like almost noon. He might be coming in from the lake, getting another drink, getting some food.
Think he's been out on you think he's been out there tubing in his swim shirt, or what do you think he's been up to?
You're saying I'm taking straight shots at him. You're calling out his swim shirt now?
No, we're all swim shirt guys. I mean, to varying degrees. It's okay. All right. Go ahead. Take over. My
I
fault.
think the MLB just has the dumbest all-star voting system. It makes no sense to me. Like, I just don't get why fans can vote only for the starting position players, then players and I guess managers vote for reserves and pitchers, and then I don't know who at all votes for like any of the replacements for guys who end up like sitting out the whole all-star game. Like, it feels so convoluted. It feels like they haven't been able to get it right the entire time. And honestly, I haven't known a good alternative until I heard Jen Latta and Jen Gabe and Chewy this morning actually throw out what I think could be a very good use for AI. Why doesn't AI just decide the all-star rosters? Just give it the stats, say, here are all the players at these given positions, give it like a weight to like how important like all of their defensive, offensive metrics are, and just say, who are the most deserving players based off this point of the season? Why? Wouldn't that make the most sense? You wouldn't have snubs. You could still get like a pretty even distribution of players from teams, which I also think is stupid. I think it's dumb that every team has to have at least one player. Like, talk about patronizing. But I think that this is like a one good use for AI, especially in sports. Because baseball is the most stat-driven sport. Like, it should be obvious who should be an all-star.
Isn't that how the Terminator started? Wasn't that the big debate? Was they had them deciding on the All-Stars in the 1982 All-Star game?
That's what Skynet was doing? Yeah, MLB employed Skynet.
I'm not really pro. I don't want to give any jobs to AI personally, but Tausch, are you on board with this idea of letting AI pick the All-Stars?
I think you could definitely utilize it to. There's always going to be somebody that feels like you got snubbed. And when it's someone that we like and is part of our team, we're going to feel it even more. So I have not broken this down because part of it is the sport that I love the most is the NFL. And the fact that their Pro Bowl voting, nobody seems to care. I don't care as much about how the All-Star shakes itself out. But it does matter for money. It matters for legacy.
Yep.
It is important. And I think AI would do a better job of it than human beings would. So I'm on board with, I don't want biases coming into play. I don't want, well, this guy deserves it, the Lifetime Achievement Award. Who's had the best half season and who deserves it? And I think AI would do a better job of that than sports writers and fans, if I'm being honest.
Think about how much bias there is every year where it's like 5 Dodgers make the list no matter what. Like, it's just de facto the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to have X number of players. Like, Andy Pages made it for the outfield, and he's been terrible over the last like month and a half. Like, he's one of the better players to start the season for sure, and it's the full first half. But he has been like atrocious. And then even Pete Crow Armstrong for the Cubs, he's a reserve in the outfield, and he is like statistically by every measure one of the best players in baseball right now, regardless of position or league. Like, it's dumb. And especially like
he's had a couple big errors against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Though, too.
Since then, though, he's actually been on a heck of a tear. He's been really good.
Why don't you plug in to Chatty and see if Bryce Terang should have been an All-Star?
It's gonna just say duh. I mean, I already know the answer to that one. I don't need
I
chat.
know. I guess I don't use Chat GPT enough. It says duh. If what you ask is
as
too
you're
obvious.
doing it, I'm gonna put it in, and I'll read back what it says as you continue on.
Okay, well, I will say that Bryce Terang got snubbed, and I think Kyle Harrison got snubbed a little bit as well, though. When it comes to pitchers, I don't think that one was as egregious just because there's so many good pitchers in baseball, and I think it is much harder to... There's a smaller sample size, especially over half of a season. Like, you never know, like, which guys maybe got easier opponents and everything, too. So I think there's a big outlier in that. But Bryce Terang is the one to me. I really want to know what Chat said to you, Tausch.
So Chat said, yes, there's a strong argument that Bryce Terang was snubbed. Several baseball analysts identified him as one of the biggest omissions. CBS, ESPN, Fox, they all have included him on the snub list. Why he should have? Best defensive second baseman in baseball, his Gold Glove caliber play, contributing offensively while providing elite speed and base running, and the Brewers have one of the best records, and representation usually comes from having a successful team. So, yes, solid case that Bryce Terang was one of the biggest snubs in the All-Star roster, according to Chatty.
So the starting point for ChatGPT, though, is the humans who made the argument in their columns for CBS, ESPN, and elsewhere.
This AI is only as good as the inputs that you have to go off.
If what I'm proposing were to happen, we'd actually give it the stats and everything you see on Pro Baseball Reference and everything, and then it would just say decide based off these, inputs, like Tausch is saying. But yeah, based off what it can just pull from the internet, it does realize that literally every baseball writer is saying that Bryce Terang was the biggest snub. So,
whoa, Wooly.
Whoa, Nelly.
All right, and then one other quick one for you guys here, something that I did not put in the Sports Weekend recap for trivia.
Could Jason do that? So I know there's no deadlines anymore for newspapers, etc. But could you just plug in all of the big plays and quotes and all of the stats from a game and then have it Chatty write the story?
I'm not sure, Tausch.
I don't think they could do the Dunkin' Donuts James Francois or Ricky Jean-Francois.
What?
I knew you were going to correct me. I should have corrected you earlier, too. The Francois article in Dunkin', those stories, I don't think Chatty's going to be able to write. So you're going to be safe, but if you're just a aggregator and writing up storylines, I think Chatty's that's another spot that Chatty will probably do.
I believe the Mark Tauscher scored 23 points and grabbed 10 rebounds to lead Auburndale High School to a 75-65 victory over Marshfield. I do think they could probably...
Hornets. Colby. Good games against Colby. Cadet. Beating up on Cadet.
Is that who is your big rival?
In basketball, we didn't really have one.
You were just not dominant.
Nobody ever beat us.
Yeah.
Nobody beat us.
I do think that probably ChatGPT could do those, but I'm going to try and keep the robots at bay for as long as possible and keep doing what I'm doing. Wooly, are you done, or did you want to sneak one more in quickly?
The music's done. It was just about Adam Sandler officiating Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding. It's a fun little tidbit, but not important.
He was not snubbed as an officiant.
I legit think Evan on Unsportsmanlike this morning, and we'll bring this up with him tomorrow, brought up a great point. If you really worked hard and wanted to find a way, you could have found a way to get invited to that wedding.
Seemed like everyone was
really
there.
believe that that's true.
Including
all you had to do is have some kind of interaction with Taylor Swift, and you're going to get invited to that wedding. Or Travis.
Yeah, why was
I think if you worked hard, if you put your life's goal to get invited to that wedding, you could have found a way to do it the way they played it out. And I think that's kind of cool.
We will wrap things up after I remind you that I hope you never get hurt in an accident. I really do, because then you don't have to make the call. But if you have been injured, there's only one call to make. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, they've been doing it for 4 decades. They are the best in the business. So make the call. Make sure that they are on your team if you've been injured in an accident. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Available in the Apple and Android app stores. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauch. The AD has spoken. In an online press conference with select media, New Badgers AD Shawn Eichorst spoke about his tumultuous time at Nebraska and how he learned from it. Audio courtesy of Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
My experience in Nebraska, what I take away is growth. We all learn, especially times of adversity, resilience, all those things we talk to our young people about. I'm looking in the mirror. And so I look at it as a positive.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't play games. Just straightforward pricing, premium quality, and trusted Pella certified installation. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Mark Tauscher here for Olsen Toon. Well, first impressions matter, and your outdoor space is often the first thing people see. And since 1997, Olsen Toon has been helping homeowners and businesses across Dane County create and maintain outdoor spaces. From landscaping and concrete to excavation and year-round maintenance, they're your team for everything outdoors. Ready to elevate your property? Contact Olsen Toon today and learn more at olsentoon.com. Creating lasting impressions every season, every day. That's the Olsen Toon difference.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? If you're a top player in your league, the GRB Rays are ready for you. They're Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, with over 425 college commitments, 27 draft picks, and 4 big leaguers, including the National League Rookie of the Year. Train in one of the Midwest elite facilities and elevate your game. GRB Rays tryouts are here, but spots are filling up quickly. Sign up now at grbrays.com. That's grbrays.com.
Mark Tauscher here. People ask, why did I join UW Credit Union? Well, let's break it down. Convenient local branches, easy to use mobile banking app, rewards checking with early payday, and that beautiful Bucky debit card. Also, they've been serving Wisconsin since 1931, which means they have local expertise that's actually local. So stop by a branch or visit uwcu.org to join today and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The Giannis era is over in Milwaukee.
I'm mad that he made every year since the NBA title miserable.
Continue reacting to the trade right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, we're almost out of time with my McCarthy-esque time management. So just a reminder again, if you missed our conversation with new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst, you can find that now up and running in its own standalone clip on our YouTube channels. Tausch, anything to add before we leave?
Nope.
It's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. That's it for us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks to Wooly for stepping in, and thanks to Riley for joining us. And, of course, thanks to Shawn Eichorst as well. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Since 1956, Hallman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Hallman Lindsay